Press work is magic on evaluation. And I promise you will get to see Press in just a little bit. But right now, how would you like to quickly triple the effectiveness of your speech evaluations? Our next speaker learned the secret method of effective evaluations from his mentor, and now he's passing the secret on to you. Discover the hidden face of evaluations from our next speaker, Tim Wilson.
Now I've got a challenge here because I'm in the middle of a speech, and some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the rest of you have no clue what I'm talking about. So, tell you what, I'm going to explain to the rest of you what I'm talking about. You people have heard it before. Feel free to relax. Just don't snore until I ask. I'll clap my hands once it comes to the part where you haven't heard before. The new part comes in and you can wake up and pay attention then. All right, for the rest of you. When you're given a speech, there are three parts to a speech: content, delivery, and audience. Three parts of the speech. Now, on October 26th, flyers are over there. We talk much more about that, explain about each one and how you can use special tips and tricks to develop each level of content, delivery, and audience. But for right now, all you need to know about is that for the evaluation, it's the same sort of thing. You have content, right? You're saying something. You got delivery, some way to get it across. You got an audience in front of you. With me so far? Confused, anybody? Okay, good. There's an illusion called the vase with two faces. You've heard of that? No, you're seeing it right here. It's just a picture of a vase. Your eye focuses on the vase, naturally. But on either side of the vase, there are these two faces. And the thing about evaluation is that you focus on one part of the evaluation, but you leave out the other two parts. Because that your evaluations aren't as effective, even your speaking isn't effective as it could be, as if you had all three parts together. Does that make sense? Okay. Become clear as you go along. First part is delivery. And that's the first hidden face of evaluation. Delivery. And the thing about delivery is that so often when you're doing an evaluation, a stand-up evaluation, you forget about delivery. You ever done that? Just kind of go there and kind of wing it? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Well, nice evaluation, great job, whatever. But the evaluation is a great opportunity to work on delivery. So all those things you work on the Comic Communication Manual, you do know what that is, right? Folks, you know about the soap egg? Okay, with me so far. The Comic Communication Manual, you can work on in your evaluation. Think about vocal variety, gestures, those sort of things. As my mentor, Bob, said to me, a medium height guy, blonde hair, professional speaker, been in Toastmasters forever, said, speak how you speak. Speak how you speak. When you're doing an evaluation, think about doing the evaluation exactly the same way you do a speech, especially with delivery. Make sense so far? Okay. The base, the thing you tend to focus on and freak out about is content. Content. What am I going to talk about? What should I focus on? I'm not a professional speaker. How am I going to help people improve and get better? In some clubs, maybe not in your club, some people have like 4 people in their club. And 2 of them have done 2 speeches. And that's pretty much the best they've done in that club. You're just starting out. Anyone like that, just starting out? Stuff to do an evaluation? You're all seasoned Toastmasters. One, okay. But the thing about it is that you're thinking about it the wrong way. The challenge is, instead of thinking about how am I going to make people become great speakers, just what's your opinion? Offer an opinion. That makes sense? Just offer an opinion. When you offer an opinion, you start with the strengths, and then you grow the growth. You help them get better. Okay. We're now caught up to today, all you people sleeping. Eyes front, as Ken, our professor, would say. That brings to the most hidden face of evaluation. The thing most evaluators don't pay attention to things most evaluators don't have anything to do with, thing I didn't understand for years, even when my mentor explained it to me. See, I've always been taught, maybe you've taught the same thing, you do an evaluation, it's only for the speaker. Have you heard that? Yeah? Only for the speaker. And so that's what I did. I spoke only to the speaker. Did that all the time. And one day, my mentor, Bob, said to me, Tim, I noticed you're speaking only to the speaker. What about the rest of the audience? Bob, it's not how Toastmaster evaluations work. I'm supposed to speak only to the speaker, to nobody else. But Tim, isn't your message important to the rest of the audience too? Shouldn't they be aware of things? I thought about that. Was the rest of the audience paying any attention to me while I was giving this evaluation? Did they get as much out of it? I always thought they had. I always thought you pay attention to the speaker, and the rest of the audience just kind of listens in. That's what I believe. So I kept on doing evaluations the same way, talking only to the speaker. And I did that for a long time until recently. I was going to Cincinnati with Ken. Ken gave me a ride. So I think it was because I took Ken's hair, so. So he was nice to give me a ride to Cincinnati. One thing we did there, of course, was see Prez win the World Championship of Public Speaking, so that was a great experience there. But the other thing that happened, in order to get to see Prez win the World Champion of Public Speaking, we had to park at the hotel. Park at the hotel before, you go to the hotel and you go around this big drive. That big drive you go through. You go up, and then Ken's driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and drive up to the guy who's parking the car. He's got all the keys in front of him. He's got this big outfit on, brown-haired guy. Ken leans across me and says, "Where do I park the car?" The guy says, "Well, here's what you do. You go all the way down to the stoplight, and once you get the stoplight, you take a right. All the way down the stoplight, and then when you go there, make sure you get the parking sign, the big parking sign in front of you. And as you're going through, and I'm listening to this and thinking, what's the guy hurrying up? Come on, this is boring. I want to get in, I want to get my clothes put away, I want to get everything done." He goes on and on about all his parking stuff, and it suddenly hit me, exactly like a typical evaluation. I'm like the audience. I'm sitting there thinking, "You're not talking to me." Ken's like the speaker, and the guy who's talking to Ken is like the evaluator. And the evaluator is entirely focused on the person driving the car, the speaker. Entirely. And I was the passenger. What do I care? It doesn't matter to me. But because of that, not paying attention, not listening, not getting things. And started to realize that there was another audience, not just the speaker, but also the rest of the audience. Does that make sense? So the challenge in speaking is, how do you talk to the rest of the audience? Now, you might be thinking, "Tim, okay, well, that's fine. That's from the point of view of the speaker. Point of view of the audience. Okay, we get that. But from a speaker's point of view, you're supposed to just talk to one person. And here's the thing that happens. When you talk to one person and only to one person, you get really good at talking to that person, right? So far? And if you talk to one person, only to one person, you're doing something else. You didn't intend to do it, didn't plan to do it. You're ignoring the audience. Does that make sense? So what you're doing is, you're getting very good at practicing talking to one person. You're getting very good at practicing ignoring your audience. Which means every evaluation you do, you're getting better and better at learning how to ignore your audience. You do speeches one way, "Hey, let's talk to the audience," and you evaluate it another way. So the important thing about your speech when you were doing it is you've got your vocal variety, you've got gestures, and you're just ignoring everybody else. And here's the thing that happens. The better you get at ignoring your audience, the better your audience gets at ignoring you. Pretty soon it's like there's this wall between you. Hey, it's all about you and how are you doing here. And you're just thinking, "Oh, get that bullhorn off of there. Jeez." But instead, you could be developing and building your audience skills. Practicing using the you. One powerful way, I'll talk about more on that on October 26th. Practice using the you, pulling the audience in, getting them involved. And once you learn how to involve your audience, then you've got everything together. You've got delivery, content, audience, all flowing together. So every evaluation you give makes you a better speaker. Not just a waste of time, not just something to do to fill back the people. The speaker improves, the audience improves, you improves, everybody wins. You feel better, you look better, you've got a simple process for working through things, you quickly make that connection, and it just all flows a lot better. So I realize it's been a brief respite from Prez. I apologize for that break, but hopefully you've learned something, hopefully something transformative. As you're going through this, think about this. Not only about the content Prez is going to talk about, but how will you present that content to your next audience? How will you deliver it to your next audience? And now, in a little bit, here's Prez with the rest of the presentation.